Hi guys, welcome to the 2021 What Surprises Are Coming video. So we've got pile 1, 2 and 3. So take some time to ruminate on what card really pulls you, and if you like crystals, also focus on the crystals. Take some time to pause the video and really decide on what you want, and then I'll reveal your messages. Hi Group 1, I hope you're doing well. So I'm going to be doing your What's Coming in 2021 kind of surprises video. Kind of self-explanatory really, isn't it? Kind of what surprises are coming. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So let's do some tarot cards. So, what surprises can Group 1 expect in 2021? Nine of Cups, Five of Swords. Ooh. Five of Cups. Okay, let's take that. I just want to preface that when I do readings that the cards don't normally fly out, so when they do, I take them. So, Six of Wands in reverse, Nine of Cups, Five of Swords, Five of Cups, and King of Wands in reverse. So we've got pretty much kind of nearly all elements there other than Earth, really, haven't we? Let's do some love ones as well. Can I just have 2 wands for love, please? Just 2. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Okay, so you're coming to that surprising realisation that this actually might be the one. And it's a past life relationship you've known each other before. So that's very nice, isn't it? And I've already shuffled these and I will pull surrender, darkness, pleasure. Bit of everything there then. And some archangel ones. These are very chunky, so I have to pull these in a different way than I normally would. So this is how I pull these ones and things like that. Flat, Ace of Ariel, Lucky Day. Some of you Sagittariuses, very nice. Kind of Michael. Yep, that one wanted to come out. I sort of disregarded it and then it came out anyway. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I think you're really going to have this kind of some surprise that leads to a detoxification of some kind. Maybe you're surprising yourself with how well you're going to be looking after yourselves, you know? Some charms. Oh, big handful there. Hello. I don't know if you can see that. Hello. That always makes me think of love starts with hello. So some of you actually meeting somebody, it's a surprise to be like, oh, hello, I've met you. And that makes me think of this could be the one. Because sometimes you can really just say hello to someone. You know, when you just see someone in a room, you think, wow, you're the one. And you know that you've known each other before. So it's kind of like, this could be the one. I've known you before. Love starts with hello kind of thing. I really love that. And it's also very nice, that idea that I think the surprises that come to you are generally quite mixed, but they all end well. You know, they all have a resolution. We've got the sun, right? And the sun is gorgeous, it's success, it's happiness, but it's also about resolution. You know, it's like, it's about things coming full circle, you know? So I think that sunshine, that hello, gives me the idea that you're going to be having a surprise, you're going to be getting into a relationship, or you already have a relationship that really is going to see itself through. You know, there's a completion there. But also that hello, for those who are in relationships now, just reminds me of, like, you know, when you had that playfulness, or when you first met somebody, you're kind of recapturing that, you know, they're kind of understanding and remembering what you really like about this person. And it's kind of quite divine as well. You know, that past life relationship comes through in the charms. We have what I would call very typical soulmate charms. We have the dragonfly and the sort of unicorn phoenix type of thing. And dragonflies are really, really strong indicators of soulmates and divine counterparts. They don't come up very often, and when they do, it's normally when you ask for them. So I find that, you know, if you think you have some kind of soulmate in your life, ask for signs like dragonflies and unicorns and owls and things like that, that you think, anything really that gives you that kind of symbolism that you can really take. And I think this is going to be really beautiful kind of love as well, because we've got the kind of true love heart as well, which that this could be the one. Again, this kind of really works. When I do my personal readings, a lot of these charms and these cards link together, and you know, I can't tell you how many people are like, oh my god, it's so weird how you said that and how it actually came to pass. You know, adore. I adore you. Love starts with hello. I adore you. So yeah, again, this kind of adoring thing. The surprise coming to you might be that you actually have somebody that gives you a lot of adoration. We have got the card pleasure. Surprising maybe that you get pleasure, you know? It may be surprising for you. Maybe you've gone a while without feeling joy about things, you know? And again, this pleasure card, butterflies are soulmate signs very strongly. I like this, it's like this kind of euphoric pleasure. So for some of you, really enjoying that kind of light-hearted joy in life. But also some of you just, it reminds me of like, you know, your heart's just singing with joy, you know. It's that sun charm, it really, really works. But also we know, you know, we've got that divine protection, which we often get with divine counterparts, but also when, you know, you really know that someone's the one, you often have that divine you know, that divine protection. So, you know, for this kind of area of love, I think that works really well. We've got some initials. They don't have to be initials, it can be just letters. We've got K, C and F. So K, F, C. We've also got 3. 3 is the number of twin flames normally, but 3 is quite an interesting number. You know, 333 might start coming up as well. So I think that's quite interesting. I'm going to leave these other charms until I've done the rest of the tarots. But yeah, that pleasure card I think is linking quite well with love, okay? And also if you're thinking, oh, well, you know, how many times has someone told me that I'm going to be in love and I haven't been in love? Just keep the faith. That's why it's a surprise. You know, keep the faith. You might surprise yourself by, you know, being really open-minded about it and letting something come in. I can't tell you how many times people have said, you know what, I know what'll happen. I'll just let go and bam, it's all come. You know, surrender. That works really well too, surrender. I like surrender because this is not just, you know, a lot of law of attraction teachers will tell you to let go of the outcome, and I don't believe that you should do that. I think you should let go of the desperation for it. There's a difference. You don't have to stop thinking about what you want. I don't think you should stop thinking about what you want. Why would you do that? I think you should stop thinking about the desperation and attachment to it. Because you can want something, right? But it doesn't have to own you. It doesn't have to define you. And a lot of times people, especially in love, we let our relationships and the people that we like define us. And then we don't become, you know, who we're meant to be. We become side characters in our own life. So it's very important to surrender. And I think that brings on more pleasure. I also like that this person looks like they're in monk robes as well. Again, that idea of like Buddhism philosophy is often about letting go and you receive type of thing. So I also want to talk a little bit about some surprises that might not be that great, but again, because we've got the sun charm, I think will figure themselves out. And we've also got some other kind of cards that link together. We have got darkness, the long night moon. Okay, so some of you might have gone through experiences in 2020 that haven't been that nice, and you might still be continuing them in the early stages of 2021, because when I see this I get very dark winter vibes. So I think that, you know, maybe January to end of February we're still going to feel a little bit blasé about things, but that is totally fine and that's very normal. And I think for some people, you know, you guys that are watching that uber spiritual, this is very, very resonant for you, because this is the idea about going through a little bit of a spiritual depression, but after that seeing so much more clearly, you know, and having more wisdom. You've got the elephant charm, which is all about wisdom. So I think this is idea about, you know, you've gone through a period of feeling like, oh, you know, I'm just feeling a little bit dark and in a different place, but I've got some wisdom from this, okay? And I think you know, this darkness is kind of maybe because you're not getting a lot of movement in something. We've got 6 of Wands in reverse. In upright, this is normally a great sign about triumph, and it's also very fiery. So to have it in reverse tells me that, you know, it's almost like you are engulfed in that darkness. You know, you're engulfed in the dragons trying to bite your hand off, you know, rather than being able to kind of reach through it. So I think for some of you, going through a little bit of a sad period, but it will not last. Okay, it might be a surprise to you that you're like, whoa, why is this happening? Why does this keep going on? This reading is all about surprises, so it might be for you, wow, I didn't realize this was going to go on for so long. Okay, and actually I think that's quite important because we have a lot of cards in the Archangel set about detoxification. So we've got 7 of Raphael. It's time to make a decision, be clear on what you want, and take action and need for detoxification. So this is the idea that some of you are feeling a little bit indecisive, not really sure about where to go in life. Again, what I mentioned about after this period of darkness, there will be a sense of clarity. So take the time now, if you're feeling in that kind of funk still, to make some decisions in your life, get that movement going, get that triumph secured, I think the problem is you've got many pots in your life and it's just hard to find out which pot to go for. And you might surprise yourself by what decision you decide to take, We've also got this idea about, you might be mourning a situation that has ended already. So we've got a situation ended and, you find sort of free from it. You sort of taken a bow and leaving, exiting stage left. But this is really good, actually, because there's new opportunities for happiness. You just have to put the past behind you. So again, the idea about detoxification. You sort of come out of darkness in 2021 by putting what 2020 behind you and the kind of experiences that were leading up to it away. So you have to care for yourself. The comb is often self-care, so looking after yourself, grooming, being kind to yourself is important. We've also got this 9 of Michael as well, which is interesting. This is about, having unnecessary worry. So you might be worrying about, you focus your thoughts on the outcome you desire. So this is what I'm saying about don't surrender the outcome, but surrender the attachment and worry. So, if you knew exactly that you were going to, if I waved a wand, right, and said you're going to get this, you would not worry about it, right? You'd be like, well, now I'm going to get it. So it's exactly the same thing. Your worry is unnecessary. And this is very specific. So people who are worrying about studying and work, you don't need to worry about that, okay? It's going to figure itself out, employment, studies, grades, it will focus itself out. You have to release your feelings of regret and guilt, detoxify, and I think you might surprise yourself with how good you feel afterwards, So 9 of Michael, great card to have. So let's talk about some more sort of literal kind of surprises. We've got Ace of Ariel, your lucky day, surprises of new resources of money, time, support, a surprise of a change in job or promotion. For some of you, I did a career reading, might have the surprise of getting a different job. This is very resonant for Sagittariuses, but pretty much for everybody. This is a great card to have because this is that idea about surprises are great for changing, just changing things, difference in money, time, support. So a change in job and study, which is kind of why that worry about studies and jobs of 9 of Michael is there. You've got a lucky day. Why worry, And again, the idea about going in the right direction, is there. We've got 2, the compass and the direction. So you will find your feet. You will find what you're doing. And for some of you, it might be surprised that you have a bit of a course direction, and you may even see it as a course correction. You're moving around and being a bit different with it. And then 4 of Gabriel, we've got time for celebration, surprises of abundant rewards for hard work, and releasing yourself from burdensome situations. So for some of you, I think getting a proposal is definitely not off the cards. For others, having just a fantastic date. And some of you also have quite interesting an invitation for a holiday home or a place that you wouldn't normally go. I think it's quite interesting. I think you might have somebody who's like, oh, I've got this friend who wants to fly us out to here. What do you say? Because something along those lines, and you might be like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. That's kind of cool. And I think by the time that happens, you're going to be so out of your funk. You're so ready to have fun. And I think you're just like, yeah, I've got my bags packed already, We've also got 9 of Cups as well, which is like victory, basically. This is like successful. This is you having the advantage on people. I really see this as quite a few things. This is, kind of material wealth. So again, that kind of idea about with the Ace of Ariel having new resources of money, that works like 9 of Cups. Definitely a surprise of money. But also good health as well, feeling really good in yourself. Again, the idea that you detoxify things that you don't want in your past, it really affects your physical presence as well. So yeah, generally that's just a really nice successful card. We've then got Five of Cups as well. Kind of looks interesting. Five of Cups is a little bit different, really. Five of Cups is a little bit different in the way that it's not so great, and it is kind of linked to this darkness card and the fact that you know, we've got something that's like you're losing something, and it might not always be it might always be like a really dramatic thing, like I'm losing a marriage or I'm losing something really strong. It sometimes means that you're losing something that you didn't think you were going to have to lose. And again, that works with the Ten of Michael, with the situation has ended and you have to let go. So you're losing something, but I think it's up to you whether you see it as a loss or you see it as you giving it away. Okay, I think it's all about perspective here. But there's a sense that, you know, the surprise to you might be that you lose something. You have to sort of give something away that you weren't expecting, but ultimately it is kind of for the best. I think you will see that eventually, you know, as we do with all things. Sometimes you think, oh, bloody hell, why is this happening to me? And then you see it as like almost a blessing, you know. So it's all about perspective here. I wouldn't see that as a bad thing necessarily. But we have got Five of Swords. And Five of Swords always gives me this idea about conquests. And this is you defeating adversity. You know, this is you conquering the dragon, as it were. So this is a good thing. So again, this is you overcoming that loss. You are overcoming it. You're feeling like a fight. You're sort of fighting against adversity. This is not you rolling over. So I think that you're going to detoxify, and the surprise is that you're like, wow, I didn't know how strong that has made me. You're having a lot of surprises when it comes to personal growth as well. And then finally we've got King of Wands. King of Wands might just be where you feel a little bit lazy. You know, you don't feel as disciplined as you thought you would be. Maybe you thought, I'm going to hit the ground running, and you don't. And I think that's probably linked to this darkness in this first start of the year, is that maybe you thought I was going to hit the ground running with 2021, and it's not the case. But like I say, I think when we go into spring, we're going to start moving that around, conquering things left, right and centre, getting that success and that advantage, and, you know, having our pleasure. And surrendering to the divine, you know, knowing that we are protected, you know. So I think that works really well. We also lastly have a microphone, and this is about standing up and showing people who you really are. Again, you know what I said about not being a side character in your own life. Use your voice, you know, use your Aquariuses particular. Use your voice and don't cower down. The surprises that you might be against with personal development is that you are doing such an amazing job at really advancing yourself, and that really counts, about you telling people how you feel. And you know, again, the microphone with a hello. Surprises that you might just be a little bit more social. I know it's going to be weird with Corona, because we don't really want to be social, but you might surprise yourself about how you want to get out more in a community. I think that might be kind of important and exciting as well. But anyway, that was your reading. Generally quite nice. We've got a bit of a mix of things going on there. This is just a general reading, so if you didn't like what I said, you don't have to take it at all. This is your life. I'm just here to guide you. So if you're like, oh, I don't quite like that, it's totally fine. You don't have to take it at all. There's plenty of things that I watch where I'm like, no, it's not for me, and I move on. So, you know, no hard feelings, don't worry about it. But I hope you have a great 2021, and I hope you have some amazing surprises as well. And honestly, I think the consensus of this is just don't worry. All is okay, okay? So thanks for watching, and I'm moving on to Group 2. Bye. Hi Group 2, I hope you're doing well. So I'm going to be doing your reading for surprises coming in 2021, and it's quite self-explanatory, so we'll just get straight into it. We'll do some tarot cards, and we'll kind of figure out what surprises. So what can we expect for Group 2 2021? So we've got King of Wands in reverse, Seven of Cups. Got Four of Swords. Two of Cups. One more, please. Thank you. Two of Swords. Okay. bit of a mix there. Do 2 loved ones, please, for group 2 2021 surprises. Surprises in love. That one kept trying to jump out. Wedding! Haha! Brilliant. Some of you might be getting a proposal. And if you're single, it might just be, okay, you want to give me 3. If you're single, it might just be a commitment. We've also got forgiving and learning and let go of control issues. Interesting. I've already pre-done these. We've got hunger, creation, darkness. We've got that again in group 1. So I think some of us are going through some periods where we still have a little bit of the darkness from 2021 going into the early starts of 2021 from 2020. And that's totally fine. That's not a bad thing. I think we're all just having that kind of lingering feeling. Got a lot about kind of winter coming in through. Knight of Michael, feeling determined and strong. Might surprise yourself with how motivated you become, which is quite interesting actually, because we've got the opposite in King of Wands. So I think it might be that you feel very unmotivated, then you're like, whoa, I've surprised myself with how much I kick myself up the arse, kind of thing. Have to shovel these quite oddly because of they're very chunky. Ooh. And they come out anyway. Solutions. Change your life. Some of you want to change your life. That makes sense with that creation. Oh, again, we've got some really similar charms to group 1. So, you know, if this doesn't totally resonate, group 1 might be interesting for you guys. Okay, so let's go straight into it. So I want to talk about this King of Wands in reverse. This, again, is feeling like quite unmotivated. So I think, again, the start of 2021 might be a little bit like we're still in the coma, as it were, from 2020. I hope that's the right word to use. The kind of lingering effects is probably better. So darkness and King of Wands in reverse. So going through a bit of a period of, you know, again, isolation still, feeling unmotivated, not really getting that drive, as it were. So I think that's, I don't even know if that's a surprise to some of you. Maybe you thought you'd hit the ground running in 2021 and the surprise is that you're like, oh, I'm still sort of in this funk. You know, I think we're all a bit different. This is a general reading, by the way, so if you don't like what I say, you do not have to take it on board at all. I watch plenty of videos where I'm like, yeah, that's not really for me, and I move on. If it's not for you, that's totally fine, but if it is, it'd be great if you could say that it is, and also maybe share with some friends, and also maybe bookmark it and you can see if they come true or not. But we have got this idea about although we have a bit of a standstill, we have got an idea about changing things. So we have got change your life. You know, this is a sudden revelation that offers freedom. So this in itself is a card about surprises. So this guy sat on kind of overlooking a city, and it says you have to break free of procrastination. So that works so well with the King of Wands in reverse. So you guys are just you're gonna just break out of it, and you need to embrace the opportunity that change brings. So I think at some point you guys will sort of give yourself the kick, and then you'll move forward, and that makes sense again with this Knight of Michael card, which is where you feel committed and strong, you know. So it's time to move quickly. You have to choose logic over emotions at sudden changes. So we have got this idea that for you guys in 2021, changes are afoot and they're very sudden, and those are the surprises. And I think you have to adapt quickly. It's kind of like adapt or die. I think a philosopher once said that. You know, you have to adapt quickly to your surroundings, and you know, it's not about how smart or strong you are, it's about how easily you adapt to things. So I think this reading is really all about, you know, kind of coming out of that funk and moving forward as fast as you can, basically. And you know, we've got this hunger as well, which always reminds me of drive. You know, you've got this hunger and drive to move forward, to change things and to better yourself. I think you guys really want to better yourselves. You're feeling maybe very sort of still where you are, you know, stationary, you're like not moving much. For some of you, you're not getting a lot of movement in a relationship, and you're like, come on, where's this proposal? I need to move. And for others, it's like, my life is just, every day is the same, as Anna Chamberlain would say, every day is the same. And so that kind of that's going to give you the surprise to kind of create something. So some of you might become a little bit more artistic, a little bit more creative than you originally were. You know, if you are creative, this is not going to be a surprise for you, but you're going to create something that's quite interesting. For a lot of you, I think you're going to really get into things that you that kind of allow you to be a bit more analytical, for example. So maybe astronomy. Some of you might be looking really into like traveling and looking at maps and finding out different places you can go. Like you start planning for where you can go when you can start traveling again. Some of you might be taking road trips if you can, especially if you guys are in America. But I think astronomy and space. Some of you might be very creative when it comes to painting things with space. You know, you want to paint a galaxy, or you want to paint people's features. Specifically faces, that kind of thing. So you guys getting very creative with the things that you do. These are just some examples that come into my head. But also I think that, you know, you are going to kind of have that sense of direction coming to you quite soon. You know, we've got this anchor. So this is stability, but like a direction that you know is the right way to go. So it's like, I've got commitment, but exactly know how to do it. And that Knight of Michael talks about that. It talks about being committed and intellectual and strong. Diligent as well, you know. Exactly the opposite of the King of Wands in reverse. That works well. You know, also we're going to get this idea about solutions coming to you as well. Success that comes from compromise, self-control and patience and forgiving and healing energy. So it's odd that we've got that, because we've got control, which we've got in the love card, and we also got forgiving and healing energy, forgiving and learning. So this idea is coming through strongly in those cards as well. You know, you're going to have to kind of work again for Aquariuses. I think this is very in particular, and Cancer as well. I get success that comes from a compromise. So, you know, if you're feeling hungry, like a hunger for something, you've got to be patient. And you also got to put the work in, I feel. You know, I think it's not just going to fall into your lap, even if you really want it to. It just wouldn't work that way. You have to kind of really push yourself. You know, in this zodiac, we've got Aries, fire energy. What does Aries do? Aries love to manage. They're great managers and they're great leaders. They're very aggressive, but they're also very passionate, and they really go for what they want. They make great change makers. So that really works. So especially if you guys are Aries, this will really resonate for you. But it's telling you to take on that energy of the Aries. You know, take on that Mars warrior type. And you know what? A King of Wands is very much like a warrior, because they're managerial. So to have that in reverse, it's like, oh, you know, I wasn't being that. Maybe I was being more of a Cancer or an Aquarius, but now I'm going to push it through. And it's so interesting that I mentioned Aquarius too, because they're super creative, and we have creation there too. So Queen of Ariel and Two of Ariel. Two of Ariel really responds to the Libras who are watching this, and Queen of Ariel is kind of a bit more about kind of Gemini. So Two of Ariel, we've got, it's important to have balance and, you know, making your life fun. Again, I think this idea of coming out these readings for a lot of groups is that we're in a funk and we need to make things fun. We need to balance like a Libra. But also, again, that idea about mutual yin and yang, which works so well with the love about wedding, you know, having somebody who's really your equal partner and things. And the Queen of Ariel is about being practical, you know, kind of like a leader, and a bit more mature. So you're nurturing yourself and you're making things... You're making things beautiful, which is what creation is, isn't it? It's taking something quite small and creating it into something quite beautiful, and also practical and wise advice as well, which is great. So you might be surprised by the kind of advisors and counsellors that you have in your life, and also you might be surprised about how much you're going to have to compromise, because that idea about compromise and balance works together. So for some of you who are... you know, you're not sure about personal life and work balance, I think you're going to surprise yourself with how well you really figure that out. Okay, let's look at the Swords cards here. For example, we've got Two of Swords and Four of Swords. It's quite creepy, actually, because these cards really link well together. Two of Swords is all about balance and harmony. So, again, working with that Libra card, the Two of Ariel. Two of Ariel, Two of Swords, pretty much probably the same thing, really. This is all about balance, you know, having harmonious relationships, and also finding just that kind of serenity. So you guys might surprise yourself with how much peace you bring to yourself by having that balance. And also, Four of Swords is about rest and replenish. So again, kind of looking after yourself, nurturing yourself and those you love. Queen of Ariel kind of works with that Four of Swords. you have to take some time to have solitude, I think. So, you know, taking time for yourself, relaxing and resting, but also just kind of, I want to say just grooming yourself, you know, just knowing that you are the upfront power, taking time for yourself. And then we've got Cups energy, so we've got 7 of Cups and 2 of Cups. So we've got 2 swords and we've got 2 cups. I love 2 of Cups because it's all about like a union and a passion, and it reminds me of a wedding. So these two work really well together. So it's like, you know, a wedding is a union, it's a passion. Again, also for you guys that don't want to get married, or you're like, oh, I don't really see that happening. It can just be a commitment in a relationship, which also works for this, because this can mean friendship too. So it could be like you have the startings of a friendship for those guys that are single right now. And I mean, life comes at you quite quickly. Who's to say that it wouldn't be a wedding? You know, people do get married quite quickly. But this is about friendship, and it's just about passion, finding that passion. You know, these roses grow, and it's that yin yang type of thing going on, the white and the red together. But a wedding, a union that works really well, you know. So again, that really works together. I love how these cards all fit together. And you know how I was talking about forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience a lot more love in your present moments, which was mentioned in the solutions card. For Angel Zakiel, it's all about forgiving and healing and kind of bringing that emotional energy to it. So is there something that has happened in your life that is part of that darkness card that you need to forgive? You know, maybe an ex that screwed you over, friendship that hasn't really ended as well as you wanted. Because remember, those cards really do mean about new beginnings. You know, once something's ended, we have a new beginning, don't we? So we forgive and we heal and we move on, and then we come to this passionate union, you know, coming together. Because this card is not about things ending at all. Anything is about things starting and a beautiful flourishment. You know, about that Queen of Ariel, beautiful things happen when you create something. So, you know, creating a bond with somebody. And these 2 cards link together well too, which is great. We've got 7 of Cups and let go of control issues. 7 of Cups is a lot about daydreaming. You know, when you've got a bit of a fantasy in your life and you're like, whoa, I'm borderline delusional at this point. So for some of you, this might be where your compromise comes in. You are perhaps, I never want to say anyone's fooling themselves. I would never judge people for what they want. If you're a fantasy and you're daydreaming, you're whatever makes you happy, go for it. But I think it's part of control. The thing is, I want to say this, when you have a daydream and fantasy about some things, you feel very attached to it. And when you feel attached, you then get controlling over it. And this is about allow a situation to unfold naturally. So some of you guys, you've got a crush or something in your life about romance in particular, you've got to let it go, okay? You've got to let that daydream go. Practical and wise advice kind of makes me think that you don't have to let go of the outcome, the desire that you want, but you have to think about it a bit more. What can I really do to make this work, you know? This kind of makes me think of manifestation, you know. Manifestation is great and it's perfect and it works. But sometimes things in the logical being right now, in the 3D reality, they help. So for example, if you've got a crush, right? You're daydreaming about them, you want them, you feel a little bit attached to them. Is there anything in right now that you can do to push it along, you know? Start to think a little bit more like, what can I do? Aries energy, remember? Be aggressive about the situation and move on. And that whole, it might seem weird when I say that because it sounds like, well, you're just telling me to be aggressive, but then you're also telling me to let go of control issues. What does that mean? It means you have to allow something to unfold naturally, in the fact that you have to just let things flow. Find out ways that you can make it work in this reality, but let it go. Let the attachment go, right? You don't have to let the outcome go. Why would you want to do that? If you want something, right? But you have to let go of that attachment and that desperation, because what happens is that desperation turns quickly to anger. And when it turns to anger, then you can't see clearly, okay? So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. It's a very complex issue, the 7 of Cups, but it tends to be, for me, I always think it as a card where someone hasn't made a decision yet. So it's always about like, oh, basically let go of control, because this person might not have made their decision yet. They might still be thinking it over, you know? And then we look at the charms. We've got Sun, which is gorgeous. We had it in group 1. We've got this kind of idea about success, but also this is completion as well. So for you guys who are getting married, this is a completion. You know, you are completing that journey with somebody, and that marriage is the highest form of commitment, and that's the completion that you're getting. But also it's just a really nice sort of positive charm to get. You also got this kind of divine protection as well. It might surprise you how well things go for you this year. You know, it's like, wow, I've been really protected. Again, to you guys, wisdom, it comes through really strongly here with the owl and the elephant. Again, seeking practical and wise advice comes through. So again, you might be surprised by how kind of advice you get. You might be surprised by some friends that you make this year. You might be like, whoa, I didn't realise I was going to make friends like that. And I think for some of you particularly, women are really going to be very important in your life. Nurturing women, you're going to be like, wow, you've really helped me through. It's definitely important. We've got the letter Y, O, R, Z. It doesn't really spell anything, but they could just be individual things. We've also got the key and the heart. The key to the heart. So you guys might surprise yourself opening up yourself to love, and maybe you've, like I said, maybe that darkness, you've been hurt by things, but you're finding this balance now. You're finding this kind of ability to unlock yourselves in a way that you didn't think you were able to before. So generally, I think this is a really nice reading. A lot of positivity here, especially for love. You guys are really going to be having a lot of personal development, a bit like Group 1, but feeling very motivated eventually and pushing forward. So thanks very much. This was your reading. If you liked it, please like, comment and subscribe. And yeah, I'm moving to Group 3, so thank you very much. Hi Group 3, I hope you're doing well. So I'm going to be doing your 2021 surprises video. It's quite self-explanatory. It's like what surprises you're going to get. But let's get straight into it and see what's happening. So we'll do tarot. So can we find out what surprises are coming for Group 3 for 2021, please? Three of Swords in reverse. Oh, that's nice. We're not going through heartbreak, we're coming out of heartbreak. Oh. I'll take that because I wanted 5. It's funny because I always say I want this fat number and then they all come out. Knight of Cups in reverse, Knight of Swords, 6 of Wands, 5 of Cups. Great. Okay, and love message. So let's find out a surprise, love surprise for Group 3. To make the effort. Kind of reminds me of the Knight of Swords. Keep an open mind. Okay. I've already done these ones. So we've got Trust, Blossoming, Balance. Beautiful. And then Angels. I have to shuffle these oddly because they're quite big. Oh, 2 of Raphael, Kindred Spirit. Knight of Gabriel. I've got a lot of knights coming through. Chariot, 9 of Raphael. 6 of Michael. Beautiful. And charms. Interesting. Someone's got a Cancer placement in their zodiac chart. Doesn't necessarily have to be sun, but it's, you know, a placement. So let's have a look. I really want to focus on the kind of surprise that I think is happening for you, and I think that is the idea that you get to surprise yourself by how brave you're going to have to be. Knight of Swords is about bravery and heroicism. It's Aquarius as well. This is really interesting because this reminds me of like really having the skills, like looking within, you know, finding your skills and your bravery. And the reason I mention that is because we've got to make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. It's the kind of idea that, you know, can you see the horse has got the blindfold on? It's like I'm being blind guided by the universe to really push me in this direction. We've also got this idea that this is quite interesting as a surprise because you might have always been somebody who hasn't necessarily been brave in romance, or you felt judgment, or you've not felt that great about it. but you're now having to kind of push forward and be brave. And the reason you might have to make the effort is because you're not getting the movement that you want. Knight of Cups in reverse says to me that you're not getting that proposal and that movement that you want, okay? So you're going to have to make the effort. So this person's not going to give you the breadcrumbs, so you're going to have to go after it. And sometimes people go, yeah, well, Abby, how's that about? Like, if they're not giving me anything, why should I have to go for it? Because why not? If you want something, you go for it, right? And this could just be as simple as manifesting and, you know, putting your mental effort into it, okay? So I think that some of you might not be getting some movement with something, so you have to be more brave and do it yourself. But this is actually going to be a really nice surprise because it's going to end out well. We've got 6 of Wands, which is about triumph. It's just like, wow, things go great. This is you being protected as well. So this is protection and triumph. So I think you guys will surprise yourself by actually doing things your own way, being brave, and the success pays off. You know, the success actually pays off. You're being protected as well. We've got divine protection. I think we've got this in all the readings, actually. Divine protection. So don't worry too much about, you know, going into combat, as it were, and being hurt. It's going to be okay. We have that 6 of Wands triumph, which I love. They're my favourite card in all the tarot deck, this is. Just because I resonate with it so well. Also, this actually can sometimes mean a person leaving a relationship. So it might actually be that you make an effort for somebody and they choose you. You know, they choose you. So this can mean quite a few things, and that might surprise you, where you're like, whoa, I'm number 1. How crazy. Because you guys are all number 1, you got to know that. But again, you've got to trust. So we've got that divine protection and trust in being protected. You know, like you see, this bird is kind of protecting this person in the egg. You're in the egg, and the universe is the one protecting you, your angels. And best believe you have angels behind you and around you. We've also got, you know, and that kind of romance works with blossoming as well. Something really growing, you know, making the effort to have something blossom. And also remember, you know, when you plant a seed, right, you don't see the flower the next day, do you? So you've got to be patient. You know, just know things are blossoming behind the scenes, but make that effort. Okay, let's do the rest of the cards. So we've got 3 of Swords in reverse. Again, an idea about you sort of getting over heartbreak, but also this says to me, love is just going really well for you. I think you're going to be doing very well with love. You know, can you see the apple's not being pierced by swords in reverse? You know, the apple is going on it. So it's like you're the upper power. You're the one taking charge here. Again, it works so well, that 6 of Wands. Love is coming up really great for you guys. It might surprise you how well your love life is happening in 2021. Perhaps you thought it wouldn't work because of Corona and because of everything going on. And again, the idea of blossoming is it might not happen straight away, but it is going to happen. We have got 5 of Cups though, which does indicate a loss of some kind, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing, because we also got 6 of Michael. Light at the end of the tunnel, breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans. So, you know, you might actually be giving up something that is best for you. So it might be a sort of a sigh of relief. I needed this thing to come out of my life. I've lost it. But now I'm moving on to something so much better. So we have got a mix here, but it's an idea about moving on to something better. And what I really like about that is 6 of Michael talks about making new plans, you know, relocation or travel. So some of you are moving houses, or you're actually able to travel. But you're coming out of this darkness into the light, okay? So it's actually a really nice kind of card to have. So don't worry about that 5 of Cups. So surprises for some of you might be travelling more than you thought. You know, we've got this idea about compass. So you guys are, you know, travelling and finding your path, staking your new ways. This idea about new plans of relocation, again, you're moving and relocating. So that might be a surprise for some of you. Just to kind of reference love again, we've got keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So that is in itself a surprise card, isn't it? It's like it might surprise you how much you like someone that you never thought was your type. You know, because sometimes we all have this kind of type, you know, we're like a boyish man or a very sort of supermodel type woman. We all have certain types, right? But this is saying keep an open mind. You might actually really fall for someone that you never thought. And we've got the true love rose as well. So again, things are coming up rosy is what I was going to say about the cards. So that's kind of what coming into my mind there is actually going to be a really nice kind of experience for you. And 9 of Raphael, make a wish, dreams become reality. This is going to be a joyful time of life. So again, this idea about manifestation, you might surprise yourself, your manifestations come true. Genie in the bottle type of thing. You are kind of, you know, what's going on there? And also I like the beach here. Again, it kind of reminds me of travel. So you might be surprised by how well this year is going, as I've mentioned before. And again, about this kindred spirit, 2 of Raphael, are 2 hearts dedicated to creating something wonderful. Don't give up on those you love. That 3 of Swords in reverse kind of reminds me of that, actually. Kindred spirits are gorgeous. I just like to preface that kindred spirits can be friends as well. I actually had a kindred spirit friend before. So sometimes they can be friends, but this is also just a really gorgeous idea about what I like about kindred is can you see them 2 coming together and they just balance each other out? You've got balance. So, you know, you're balancing each other out. You're being there for each other. It really works out. Oh, police car in the background. Yeah, I really like this idea about kindreds and balance. Like I said, love just come up really nice for everybody here around this reading here. We've also got the owl, which is academia, but it's also wisdom as well. So you guys having the wisdom. Again, I think that comes from that 3 of Swords in reverse. Maybe you've really gone through it. You've got that wisdom now. And we've got the Chariot and Knight of Gabriel. Really both cards about taking action. Really like the motivation coming through in these readings, guys. Chariot, determination, self-control, career advancement. So some of you might be surprised that you're getting a promotion or change in your job. And you're also going to be acknowledged by others. So for some of you, you might be winning an award for something. Acknowledgement of success by others. Chariot, and also this is very good for soulmates. It's the fastest card in the deck. So for some of you, I said, you know, it might not happen tomorrow, but for others, we're getting it very quickly. It all depends on how much we really believe and trust in that, you know. Gorgeous. And again, that Knight of Gabriel is all about being confident and courageous. Time to take action. You're just going to instinctively know what to do, you know. Just going to know what to do. I think it really works as well. Just on that horse, riding it through. Being very, very motivated. I like it. So we're doing great with love. We're having that trust and we've got that motivation. We've also got the number 4. Beautiful. It means big change. So again, some of you have got some change in plans, I think. You might surprise yourself with that. And again, I like the key because we've got the confidence is key. But also again, you sort of unlocking things about yourself that you never knew you could. And that might come from that 3 of Swords in reverse. And that Knight of Swords as well when you're being brave. And again, time to take action works again with that Knight of Swords. Bravery, being heroic. So these all link together. Can you see that? We've got some letters. We've got Z and V. Might mean something to you, might not. And like I said, we've got Cancer placement there. So that might be interesting too. But we also had the Aquarius and a bit of fire energy coming through quite strongly too. Let's find a song for you guys actually. Let's do a song. What song? Is it going to be a surprise? Fantasy, Miss Mister. Okay, so this reminds me of the Make a Wish, Dreams Become Reality. It's a your fantasies can come true. You might surprise yourself by how much your dreams can manifest into real life. You might surprise yourself when you see things actually happening in your 3D reality and you think, wow, that's always been a daydream of mine, but I never thought I could have it. It's really about making that wish and knowing that it can be reality, because if you don't believe it can come true, it just won't, you know. So yeah, that's really amazing. That's a gorgeous reading, guys. Really nice for 2021 and surprises. I also think for some of you as well, you're definitely going to be getting a lot of text messages that just comes through quite a lot in the 6 of Wands and the Knight of Swords. That, you know, text messages and communication that you weren't expecting to come through as a surprise would be quite nice. And that might be where you get the keep an open mind, because you start to think, oh, I really wasn't expecting that. But also again, you might be getting more communication from the fact that you really go for it and you make the effort. So if you like this, please like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't, it's just a general reading, so you don't have to take what I say. Like I said, I've had lots of readings where I've been like, what the hell was that? You know, so you don't have to take it if you don't like it. But hopefully it does resonate with you, and I hope you have a great 2021, and thanks for watching.